Today is the day. After 2 Nintendo Switch modding tutorials, I'm sad to announce that this will be my final one. Ever since the Switch 2 came out, my Switch has just been sitting over here collecting dust. So welcome to the world's last Nintendo Switch homebrew tutorial. Jokes aside, today I'm going to show you how to mod your Nintendo Switch running firmware 20 through 20.3. So let's get started. This tutorial will be divided into 5 parts, but if this is your first time modding, please watch each section. Section 1 is everything you need to mod your Switch. Section 2 is how to format your SD card and get the files you need to add to it. Section 3 is how to back up your Switch. Section 4 is how to set up Atmosphere custom firmware and create an emunand. And Section 5 is where I'll answer some frequently asked questions. To mod your Nintendo niche, you will need an unpatched Switch. To check if your Switch is unpatched, head over to this website and enter your Switch's serial number found on the bottom. Unpatched means you can follow this guide. Potentially patched means you might be able to mod it. Nothing bad will happen if it ends up being patched, but it would be quite unfortunate. And patched means you can't follow this guide. Sorry. You will also need an RCM jig, a micro SD card with at least 128 gigabytes of space, a micro SD card reader you can plug into a computer, a USB-C cable that supports data transfer, this modding pack linked in the Google Doc in the description, Tegra RCM GUI, Hecate, Atmosphere, SIG patches, and to hit the like button, of course. The first step is formatting our micro SD card to FAT32. So fully turn off your Switch, remove the SD card, give it to Yoshi, and throw him at your computer. Put it in your SD card reader and connect that to your computer. Cue the live tutorial. So there's a few things you should know before formatting your SD card. Number 1 is that all your game save data will not be deleted. You will have to reinstall all your games, but all your progress will still be there. Number 2 is that you have to back up your screenshot/video. So on your SD card, you won't see this folder, but you'll see a Nintendo folder. So open the Nintendo folder and drag the album folder somewhere on your computer. And then after you're done modding your Switch, you'll add that album folder back into the Nintendo folder on your SD card. And the last thing you need to make sure you do is extract the modding pack that you downloaded. So right click the modding pack and then go to extract all and then choose extract, and then you'll have the modding pack folder appear. So open the modding pack folder, and inside here you want to open GUI format.exe. It should automatically detect your SD card, but if it doesn't, just make sure you have the right one selected, and then you can keep the allocation unit size the same, and then you can change the name of the SD card to anything you want. Try to keep the name short. I think something nice and short like vid. I think that's a perfect name. But after you decide the name you want, make sure you close File Explorer before clicking start. So I'm gonna go down here, close all windows. Now that File Explorer is closed, we can click start and format our SD card to FAT32. Start, and then okay. And once you see done, you can click close, and now your SD card is FAT32 and ready to go. With that done, we can download Hecate, Atmosphere, and SIG patch. Ooh, I can't say that one, but download it. These are all included in the modding pack, but if you're on a firmware higher than 20.3, download all of these manually. So right now I have the modding pack open on the left and my Switch's SD card on the right, and all we're going to do is open the Open Me folder. And this is where I have Atmosphere, Hecate, and SIG patches. So for each of these, I'm just going to open the folders that say open and drag these to my SD card. And then we'll drag in these 2 files later, so just stay tuned for that. Now that everything is on your SD card, put it back in your powered off Switch and get out your RCM jig and USB-C cable. What we're about to do is what you have to do every time you want to launch Hecate. Hecate is the name of the bootloader, which is used for booting into Atmosphere custom firmware. So in the modding pack, run the Tegra RCM GUI installer, and once it's installed, open it, go to settings, and select install driver. Cue the live tutorial again, and subscribe. Yeah. All right, we're about to boot into Hecate. This is the best part, guys, I promise. So with Tegra RCM open and your USB-C cable connected to your computer, we need to select a payload to send to our Switch. So the payload we're going to use every single time is the Hecate right here in the modding pack. So what you need to do is drag this file somewhere on your computer where you won't move or delete it, and in Tegra RCM, click this file icon and locate the Hecate file that you just moved. So mine is right here, so I'm going to click it and then click open. So now every time you open Tegra RCM, it will will automatically have this payload selected if you don't delete it. Okay, now this is the best part, right? That part doesn't count. So what you want to do is take out your RCM jig and remove your right Joy-Con. If you have one that looks like mine, the camera might not focus, but the top should say off and the bottom should say on. So what you want to do is slide the RCM jig on your right Joy-Con rail facing this way. And now what you want to do is with one hand, hold down the volume up and power button. So I'm going to press volume first and then hold down the power. And while you're doing that, with your other hand, get out your USB-C cable and connect it to your switch. And then on your computer, it should say RCM OK. It took a bit, but once it says RCM OK, it's safe to let go of the volume up and power button. And what you want to do is click inject payload. And this should make Hecate show up on your switch. And there we go. It's right there. Every time you do this to boot into Hecate, once you see Hecate, it's perfectly fine to remove the USB-C cable and take off the RCM jig. And now that we're in Hecate, it's time to create a backup of your switch. Teedle, I'll take it from here. So this backup is for if you end up doing something bad on your Switch, like installing an NSP to your home screen in SysNAND. If you have no idea what I just said, just wait for section 5. Yup, what Obama said. So in Hecate, go to Tools, Backup eMMC, Boot 0 and Boot 1, and eMMC Raw GPP. This takes around 20 minutes, so in the meantime, I guess you can double check that you. After it's complete, a backup folder will be on your SD card. So close this and back in Tools, press USB Tools and plug your USB-C cable into your Switch to access the SD card on your computer. You can put the backup somewhere on your PC and delete it from your Switch, and if you ever need to load this backup, just add it back to your SD card. But now we can set up Atmosphere. To set up Atmosphere, we need to add boot entries, which is done in the Hecate IPL ini file from the modding pack. I already modified this to include the emunand, sysnand, and stock switch, so with your switch still connected to your computer,
just go to USB Tools SD card again if you disconnected it.
Put this folder in the bootloader folder on your SD card. You can press replace if this shows up. Also add exosphere.ini to the root of your SD card, which blocks your emunand from connecting to Nintendo servers. The emunand is a copy of your Switch's memory that runs on your SD card, and you use it for all modding things that don't require connection to Nintendo servers. The sysnand is connected to your Switch's actual memory and can access Nintendo servers, which means you can use it to use game mods online, but it also means it's where you have a higher chance of getting banned. So I only recommend you use the sysnand if you have to. But now that all the files are in, we'll drag this one at the very end of the tutorial. You can safely eject your SD card and press close on your Switch. And now we're going to create the emunand. Cue live tutorial number 3 or 4 or 5, I forget. To create the emunand, we first need to partition our SD card to add space for it. So to do that, go to Tools, Partition SD card, press OK, and set the red eMMC slider to 29 gigabytes. And then press Next Step, Start, wait for the countdown, and then after it's complete, we're going to press the power button. And now that it's done, we can press OK, and then click Close, and then go to Home, and now we're going to press eMMC to actually create the emunand. So press this, and then create eMMC SD partition, and then we're going to choose part 1, which is the partition that we just created. This one takes less time than the backup, but it still takes like 15 minutes. All right, it's done. And now you can say that you successfully modded your Nintendo Switch. But wait, remember that folder I mentioned? So one last time, go to Tools, USB Tools, SD card, and plug your Switch into your computer. Now go back in the modding pack and drag everything inside the drag after folder to the root of your SD card. This is done just in case any files got deleted when you partitioned your emunand. Oh, and I forgot about our album folder. So drag that back into the Nintendo folder. With that done, you can safely eject your SD card and press cancel. And now your Switch is successfully modded. Woohoo, you did it. Let's go. So now press launch, boot into your emunand, and I'll answer some frequently asked questions. How do I open the homebrew menu? To open the homebrew menu, open the album. This opens it in applet mode, but not all apps support applet mode. So the second way is by holding down R and launching a game. Keep holding down R until you see the homebrew menu appear. Can I connect to the internet in my emunand? It's safe to connect to the internet if you have Exosphere set up. To test if it's set up correctly, try opening the eShop and you should get an error code. I got this error. In Hecate, go to Tools, Archive Bit, and select Clear Archive Bit. then try launching emunand or sysnand again. How do I go back into Hecate without doing the RCM process? Hold down power and press restart to go back to Hecate. This will only work when you're in your emunand or sysnand though, not stock switch. What is an NRO file? Simply put, an NRO file is a homebrew app that you put in the switch folder on your SD card. It will show up in the homebrew menu. What about an NSP file? An NSP is a file that shows up on your home menu. Never, and I mean never, install NSPs while you're in your sysnand or you will be banned. NSP files can only be installed in your emunand. My games won't install in my emunand. Because the emunand does not connect to Nintendo servers, you'll need to look up a different way to install games in your emunand. Hey, you didn't answer my question. Please join my Discord linked in the description and you will be able to get help in the homebrew support chat. Why haven't I liked the video yet? I don't know, you tell me. I hope you enjoyed this Nintendo Switch homebrew tutorial. And if you did, be sure to check out this video where I show the top 10 best apps to get after modding your Switch. Bye.
Comment W Nuke for being a stellar Yoshi channel member.